Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Ooh, let me get some music. Looks like my mic is working. Real quick. Forgot to pull up the playlist. Welcome. Thanks for coming to another mapping stream. It's currently Saturday, August 2, 2025. Wow, August already. It's crazy. My mic is a bit quiet. I can turn it up. It looks like it's picking up okay. Test, test, test. That's weird because I didn't. Maybe I moved it. Like if I move it a little closer. We'll see. Let me know if that's still too quiet. Hi, Vizzies. Hi, Spark Shark Gaming. Hi, Gildan. Hi, Matt. And hi, John Doc. And hi, Vizzies, if I didn't already say that. Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a shorter stream today. I wanted to stream because I want to keep up with this project. But I've been really busy lately, and I do have plans later in the evening, so we'll probably wrap it up after just an hour and a half or so. Today, I wanted to focus on something a little bit more just fun, not really the core gameplay loop of the add-on or anything, but just something visual. Specifically, I want to add a vista to this staircase, so you'll be able to see the environment around you. Mapping 0. Exactly. Oh, what is it? Slight concern. Yeah, this will be interesting because it's making a skybox for an interior map. Usually you think of 3D skyboxes as being like an exterior feature, but I think that will add a lot of definition to it. What else was I going to say? I haven't made a lot of progress off stream like I intended to. I did a few things. I added this room with a pistol, with Scar Zero's pistol. I wanted to reintroduce it somehow, and then you have to use that to get this wheel instead of the shotgun. The blue dev texture is literally the Weezer blue. Oh no, why would you do that? No. Okay, wait, hold on. No. Wait. 1 second. Just a... Oh no. Oh, I hate that. You're right. It's a little off. Matt, why did you have to point that out? So hi, Danskart. Did you get the H++ update? No, I'm sorry, I didn't. Oops, don't full screen that. I didn't update Hammer++. I should do that. I don't want to do an update to Hammer++ right before I stream in case there's some kind of a breaking update. You know, I wouldn't want the whole stream to be messed up, but I will update it next opportunity. Yeah, the color is scary close. Fickle added hotspot texturing. What is hotspot texturing? Is that like for displacements? So first thing I'm going to do, replace this with skybox. Now, to do this scene that I'm thinking of, we could do it at full scale and then shrink it to make it a skybox. I mean, we could just do it at full scale. It doesn't have to be a skybox. The main reason I'm using a skybox for this is just because I think for me it will help to have it sort of in miniature. So I'm not thinking, oh, this is too big for the map. It's really mostly psychological. Also, just because of the way it's going to render, like, if it's a skybox, it's always rendering in the background. I guess it's not very efficient, but I just want this to be sort of the background, not the foreground, so I'm going to use this 3D skybox for it. We probably could get away without using a 3D skybox, but it's going to be okay. It's like UV unwrapping for brushwork. That sounds fascinating. Can you explain a little more about that? Like, how do you UV unwrap a brush? Is that almost like atlasing in newer engines where you're like combining textures together? John Doc, I just realized Plan B intention of kidnapping Scar Zero to layer it is, I'm not sure if I'm understanding. Is the new map-based update for EZ2 coming soon? That's a fair question. I've been a little bit behind on EZ2 updates. Breadman and I have been focused on Entropy 01 V5 slash Entropy 01 VR. So I haven't touched the updates in a while. There's some pending map updates that need to be made into a build before we can even get the map-based update out. So it will be a little while. I should probably work on that soon. Good afternoon, XD. Oh yeah, I need legs. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I know everyone is hotly anticipating the new map-based update. We should try to get that out to you guys soon. I can't really make any guarantees. I'm sorry, things have been really busy. But yeah, there will be an update before the map-based update. I will warn you that right away. Square Cranium says it was pretty good. Hope yours was too. Okay. That would be cool to have a map with respawn enabled. So the respawn thing is something that's already in map base, right? You already changed your mod to include 8.0 changes? Wow, we're really slacking, I guess. Half-Life 2 game rules, yeah. But are you saying that you want to use respawning with the protagonist system, which is new in 8.0? Is that what it is? Here, I feel like I'm doing this the hard way. Wait, let me just turn off all viz groups, turn on world geometry, and then hide the things I don't need. Hello. Oh, Rook is following. Hi, Rook. Thanks for following. Rook, this is Hammer Editor. This is how we make maps for Half-Life 2 and Source Engine games. I'm working on a little Entropy 02 workshop add-on. It's just going to be a little side story. Finally following fake fan. No, you're all good. It's good to see you. Are you having a good day? Yeah, I wish this map was more fully fleshed out so you could see what like the whole thing looks like. Like, here, let me just quick open a different map real quick. Maybe I should open one of the ones from the actual game, but I will open one that I've been working on here. Just got back from gardening? Nice. You have your own garden? You can just select the things you want to keep and press Control H. What is Control? Wait, Control H. Yeah, Control H is hide. That's what I'm planning on. Oh, it's your parents' garden. That's nice, though. So this is a portal test chamber I made. Trivy had some feedback about the lighting, so I made some adjustments recently. It's still not great in terms of the visuals or the lighting, but if I turn on lighting preview, you can see here. Yeah, it looks really dark in the editor. This is a tool called Hammer++. It lets me preview the lighting, but in-game it would be brighter. You can see how I lit up the scene. I can also pull it up in-game. Oops. So this is a mod for Entropy 02 where I'm making this stuff. Yeah, so this is what the level actually looks like that I made in Hammer. I'm trying to copy the style from Chapter 3 of Entropy 02, but I don't think I've quite gotten it down yet. What engines do you know how to use? That's a good question. I'm afraid mostly everything I do is in Source Engine. I feel like I'm behind the times. I'm like 20 years behind technology. I do know a little bit of Unity. I dabbled with Unity in college, which, I mean, at that point, that's like a Unity version that's so out of date that it's not even comparable anymore. But I've also, of course, I do avatar stuff for VR chat, so I know that side of Unity, but I really need to step up my game, I think, and learn some more engines. I've barely touched Unreal. I did like a little bit of Unreal in college, but not super familiar. Yeah, he knows a lot about that. I don't know if you saw the like the scene the lighting scenes he's been doing from Lord of the Rings. I think he posted those. He posted those at least to the Entropy Zero Discord recently. They look really good. Yeah. It's crazy what modern engines can do. Part of me kind of likes the simplicity of Half-Life 2, you know, going back to the basics. It's all like building blocks. It's kind of like building with Legos. But modern games look like photoreal. Have I tried Source 2 Hammer? That's a really good question. I actually have. I really wanted to do a map for Half-Life Alyx, but I never got anywhere with it. I guess I was just too comfortable with the Source 1 tools. I had some different ideas for Half-Life Alyx maps. I think one of the things that puts me off to modding Half-Life Alyx is that with Half-Life 2, I have the source code. So, you know, we can add features, we can add new characters, we can add... Not that I usually do when I'm mapping, but, you know, it just feels so much more flexible. Even just being able to read the code and see, like, what's there. Whereas with Half-Life Alyx, you're kind of limited to what they have in the main game. I think this is just the shell of what the level looks like. So, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I never got into Half-Life Alyx modding, but I did try Hammer. Another thing I tried to do is use tools to convert Source 1 maps to Source 2, and I never got anywhere with that. It's kind of difficult. There's a lot of different things you have to do. I think the tools have gotten better. I also know that there's tools to convert Source Engine to Unity for VR chat. I've seen people convert source maps to VR chat, and I think that's a lot of fun. Somebody even converted some Easy 2 maps, and it was really weird walking around in a map that I made. Because it was like Chapter 2, Map 3, which is one of the ones that I did. They changed a lot of the textures, and it made me kind of mad, because I didn't want it to look like that. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't put a skybox at the origin yet. Skybox. Sky camera. So we got to go to the origin. This is a trick for starting 3D skyboxes that I've learned. You put a sky camera at the origin of the map. Select the sky camera, select the simplified geometry, and then you just copy it with texture scaling lock and texture lock on. And then you want to scale it down, and then you'll have a minified version of the map, basically. What is it, 0625? My brain, sorry, Rook. I mean, you've probably seen some like complicated Unity stuff before, right? Like with your avatar. XD says, I'd love to mod HLA2, but I couldn't figure out replacements yet. I did a shotgunner-styled wallhammer some time ago, but I couldn't get it working. Yeah, I did some replacement stuff like that, because I'm also interested in the same thing, like changing up NPCs. I think one thing I had to do was like bone merge a ragdoll to an NPC or something. It was really janky. It didn't work super well, but I have seen maps where people like replace the Combine with rebels or replace the soldiers with Metro cops, stuff like that. I know it is possible. Your avatar is pretty simple. I guess that's true. Sometimes simple is best, though. I think there's a lot of avatars tend to have too many buttons, too many toggles. I need to simplify mine. I don't like how this isn't on the grid. What have I done? This is not quite on. I can't make the grid size any smaller. Shoot. Was that off the grid when I scaled it? I think it was. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Maybe I can just... I know that this is below grid size, so it might not line up perfectly, but... Yeah. It's not gonna... I might just undo that. Do translation. We'll live with it. Okay, so here's my scaled down version of the map. What I was thinking is, here is that the staircase that you're going to walk up. I want to have basically a vista where you can see a big cave with some aperture science like test chambers and a big vat of the blue goo from chapter 3. HLA Metrocop still have every single Half-Life 2 animation, and they still have the Half-Life 2 rig too. Yeah, I've seen that before. I don't think most of those animations still work, but it is really interesting because I think that's like they started from the Half-Life 2 model and then they modified it. Does that mean Half-Life Alyx counts as a mod? Will Easy 1 get new view models and animations? Yes. I know that was a little bit controversial, but that was something Breadman was keen on, and I am too, actually. I think it looks great. We added the Easy 2 animations to Easy 1 for the update. So let's see, how do I want to do this? First I'll just make a box to contain everything. I could, doesn't have to be that small. Yeah, so the stairway is over here. It's right there. I'm just making a box to contain this for now. Make hollow, probably maybe 8 units outward. Yeah, so now it's in a box. This would be very unoptimized for rendering, but everything in the skybox is going to render at once. But it's going to be pretty simplified, so it's not going to matter. We're listening to the Entropy Zero Uprising soundtrack, by the way. How do I want to do this? So there should be basically a lattice work of like rails that the different test chambers are on. Let's just make one of those test chamber pods. It's going to be something really simple. It's just going to be like a cube. Yeah, it'll look like that. Maybe I'll find some textures from Portal to use. This one? No, there's a different texture I'm thinking of. XD says, I've been thinking an Easy 2 style reanimation of the human error mask pickup would look cool as well. After watching some old Uprising footage featuring it as part of the gameplay. Yeah, in Entropy 01, we skipped that putting on the mask animation. I mean, I guess we could put it back in, but I think we're going to stick with the way it is now. There is a little extended sequence, though, like in the intro map. We added a scene where Bad Cop picks up his weapons for VR. I wanted that because I think in VR it's nicer to pick up the weapons off of a table instead of like just already having them, you know? That way you get acquainted with everything that's in your inventory. You don't get surprised by it. There's some changes like that that are designed for VR, but also will work better in the main game. Yeah, so my simplified test chambers are just going to be these cubes. No big deal. Oops. Most Valve games are started from mods. Yeah, Half-Life Alyx was a mod. It's because it started as their like VR experiment, so it makes sense. It's not really a coincidence. Since you're making a skybox, that means we're going to get a glimpse of the surface? No, this is going to be entirely underground. That was my idea anyway. I wanted to show something kind of visually cool as a vista to look at from the basement area, also to kind of get your bearings. So this is going to be entirely underneath the surface. Which rail texture do I want? Probably this one. That already doesn't look bad. I'm gonna scale it anyways. Makes sense for Easy 1 to have the mask pickup animation disabled because Bad Cop is already about to get into action. Yeah, exactly. You got it. It's like, you know, it starts in media res. Is that the right word? In the middle of the action? So I want to kind of make like a grid pattern of these rails. This will make sense later, guys. I know this is probably really weird looking. Eventually, this will all make sense. Wait. I feel like... Okay, I made a bit of a mistake here. Because these ones are on the corners, but then if I copy this here, that's off the corner, obviously. I think... How do I want to do this? Maybe I'll make the... I guess I could just... Yeah, I'll just keep it in sync like that. It's bothering me that it's off by one. Okay, we're gonna do this. I'll make the cube smaller. Yeah, that works. Now the rails are doubled up. It's always like the little... Okay. Should be on the corners, basically. That's what I'm thinking of. So just make it easier to make that grid pattern. There we go, okay. Back in business. I don't know if Danskart is still there, but I see the like Aperture Zero stuff that you've been working on looks really, really good. I can't wait to play that. XD says, I'm kind of curious about Scar Zero's future after Easy 2. I know you probably can't say anything, but I wonder if he would be referenced in Exxon Pariah. Bad ending where Scar Zero downloads an antivirus and erases Wilson. We don't know exactly yet. Because he's always been kind of a background, like, Easter egg character. I will say that I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up again. Let me say it that way. I think he had an impact on players, so we're going to think about that, and, you know, we might want to reference him again or give him a bigger role in the story. It's entirely possible. We visit the laundry first. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about. Okay, I realized something the other day when I was thinking about this add-on, right? When you meet Scar Zero for the second time in Chapter 6 of Easy 2, he still has the blood on him from chapter 2, which makes sense because, you know, probably didn't have time to, like, clean his armor between chapters. Like, that's fair. But then I realized there's a problem. Why doesn't he have any blue goop on him from chapter 3? Like, if he was captured by the Gonome, wouldn't he be covered in the blue goop? Just like Clone Cop was. I never really thought that through. Oh, that's gonna look really scary. I think that's too close though. I think I want to actually move this whole lattice away a little bit. Because I want to make room for something else that's going to be there. Yeah. So wait, did the Gonome use the dynamic interaction to kill Scar Zero and he still survived? Because that's kind of funny. I was thinking that I might actually use that in this add-on. If I show a flashback of him getting captured by the Gonome, have it play that animation in first person. I think it would be pretty cool. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but it would be like, I don't know, kind of scary. Yeah, this is gonna look great. This isn't exactly what I had in mind, but I think it's turning out even better, to be honest. Blue Goo texture, Chapter 7 Scar Zero Workshop add-on. You know, that's not a bad idea, actually. Like, genuinely, that seems like that makes a lot of sense. Because the reason he has the same model is because you need to be able to distinguish him from the other soldiers. If he looked different, you wouldn't know that that was him, right? Wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Half of your workshop is a shrine to Scar Zero. I like how much mileage the character has gotten, you know? Because it was kind of a one-off idea, but I can tell players actually really liked it because he gets brought up a lot. I think might be too many. Some of these aren't going to be visible from where you're standing, so those should probably be culled. I think this might be too many pipes, actually. Oh well. From giving gun tutorial to fan favorite. Yeah, he wasn't always supposed to be that tutorial, you know? I do worry that because of parallax, like, this gap will look wider than it is, you know? From the perspective that the player is in. I should have also made these thinner. I don't know. Starting to question this idea. I don't know. We'll add some test chambers. See where this goes. Yeah. Bad Cop is weird to replace because you don't see yourself very often. You see yourself when you die. You drop a ragdoll, which Bad Cop dropping a ragdoll, by the way, is actually a bug with forcing all entities to use server-side ragdolls. It makes the player also use server-side ragdolls. And instead of fixing it, I just said I think that that's cool for Entropy 02 because it like highlights the difference between you and the character, right? Because usually when you're Gordon, you feel like you are Gordon Freeman, but Bad Cop is like not you. So when you die, seeing the ragdoll drop makes sense because it's like not you, it's the character. So I don't know. That was me rationalizing not fixing a bug. Might just be laziness. These test chambers are important because they show how it's like connected to where you're at. Okay, I think that's enough random test chambers. Another thing I wanted to do was have a big vat of the blue goop. None of this is going to make any sense until it's done. I promise this will all make sense soon. The beams stop the sky from falling. Let's see. I'm gonna have to use the arch tool, I think. Arch tool. Architecture 101. Arc 360 degrees. 16. Okay, yeah, that works. I think texture-wise, I should replace that texture. Metal. I'll look for a portal texture to use just to keep it consistent. Which portal texture would look good for this? Probably like this. No, how about this one? I wonder if I should use a smoothing group for this. This isn't gonna wrap properly all the way around. Is this what that unwrap tool that you guys were talking about is for? Ah, it works pretty seamlessly, actually. I think you can do this with one click. What's the best way to do it with one click? Because I can't find replace the texture. Is there a find replace the texture only on one surface? I've never done that before. Hey, Agent Golem. Welcome. We're working on a little skybox scene a vista for this map for the Scar Zero add-on. Is this the sandbag update? What do you mean by that, Coded? By the way, Coded, I keep missing your Half-Life streams. It's making me really sad. The blue goo came from Zen or Aperture? It came from Aperture. I think they were somewhat clear about that. I know it's kind of confusing. It's like for Aperture's big facilities, I think Portal 2 might do that. Yeah. Replace all the bolts with sandbags? What do you mean, Coded? What is the texture on the surface of the goo called? No, not the trigger texture. This texture. Oh yeah, it's called birthing fluid. I think that's from Entropy 01, actually. Oh. Everything is held down with sandbags. I'm not sure if that's going to work so well, Coded. I don't know. I have some questions about this. Girls Last Tour? Why? I've never watched that anime, but I'm familiar with some of the characters. Okay, are you guys ready for this? I don't know if this is gonna work so well. Yeah, that's what I wanted it to do. Shift plus right click? Oh, what? Okay, wait, can I alt shift right click? No. Wait, what? Why is it scrolling at different rates? Okay, I think for other things that might have worked. It's not for this texture. Wonder what's the lore behind the rebel who fell into the meat grinder. I don't think I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't think there is lore. Why is the scrolling rate on every face different? Like, that's actually tripping me out. What? You guys see what I'm trying to accomplish here, right? Okay, maybe... Let's see if this looks super lame, but I'm just gonna do it with like a, with just a box. I know we're going back to mapping techniques from like the 90s with this, but I think it'll be fun. Have you tried Soul Sand? What's Soul Sand coded? It's so dumb. Maybe I'll like, okay, I'll put it over here. That's just silly. From Minecraft? Oh man, I don't even know that. Maybe it's just some preview bug and in-game it works. I think it might be. I think you're onto something with that. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to take one of these lights. Hi, Boom Donuts. Welcome. Take one of these lights. How's the mapping going? It's going well. We're just adding this cool like vista to this map. Today is kind of a shorter stream day, so I just wanted to do something simple that would, you know, add a lot to the map. It's kind of a visual centerpiece to it. I don't want any fall off on this light. Let's see here. I think that's about right. Maybe I'll also add a spotlight coming down from the source of the goo. Light spot. I mean, yeah, that could work. I'll make that a really bright light, though. So, do I want to see how this looks yet? No. I'm gonna do maybe a lighting preview. Okay. Yeah, that works. So we'll be standing here. I'm curious how the light casting into this room will look, though. I wonder which one would taste better, Half-Life 2 Toxic Water or Easy 2 Blue Goo. Oh, Easy 2 Blue Goo for sure. Because the toxic waste is like, you know, industrial products and like radioactive stuff as well. Like, it's kind of just like everything all mixed up into a gunk. Whereas the blue goo is phytoplankton. So that's got to be at least a little bit better. I don't expect it to be great, but you know, it's anything is better than the Half-Life 2 water. So I need a good rock texture for a cave wall. What's a good like blend? Blend rock to black? That actually sounds useful. Wait a minute. I always associate the toxic waste with sewage. Yeah, me too, actually. You're not wrong. So I'm gonna make this floor plane here. Yeah, looks good. Slurm. Yeah, it is kind of like that. Do not drink the... there's even a sign. There's a sign telling you not to drink the blue goo. Blue goo's in you. French fries and blue goo sauce. Do not dip French fries into the blue goo. It's highly radioactive. And toxic. Okay, now I just gotta add some walls. I don't know why I didn't just... Let's see. There we go. EZ2 blue goo makes me think of glow stick liquid. Yeah. And I think the rebels use it to paint some of their insignias too. I saw a workshop add-on recently that said that made all of the rebel paint glow. And even though I don't know if that really makes sense in the narrative, I think that's actually a really cool idea. It makes it easier to see the rebels, for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to add a bunch of noise to this. Maybe noise 16. And then subdivide. Oh, the corners are going to look bad. I didn't think about that. Will we really even see the corners, though? It's probably fine. Because, like, okay, so this wall, I'm going to invert alpha. Probably on the ceiling, I'll invert alpha, too. Maybe even this wall? So then I can, like, blend them all together. So when you mix that with, I think I need more noise on this. 16. Okay. When you mix that with a lighting preview, yeah, it's gonna look more natural because you won't be able to see to the back of the cave, so it'll just look like it naturally falls off. What's with this light pattern though? That looks kind of bad. Don't like that. Is it the light map scale? What if I lower the light map scale? Can you make it caramel dancing? What do you mean, Coded? How would I make it caramel dancing? RGB and audio. Oh, put RGB on the goo. No, it's only blue goo. It's not RGB goo. Is it possible to have a new citizen type via map logic or vscript, like unique, but they switch models on map spawn like generics? What you could do is you could set them to unique, and you could write a function. Yeah, because in I think it's the most recent map base update, or is it the one before that? I know MapBase adds a hook you can use in vscript to write a function to select a model. So what you would do is you use the generic citizen type and then write the hook to select the model, and you could write your own code to select which model to use. And that's how you would do that. You just maybe rebake the lighting. That looks better. I mean, it's weird that this doesn't cast any shadows, but it is weird that it doesn't cast any shadows, man. I think I liked it better before when the shadows looked really gross. Never mind. The shadows that it cast were kind of weird. Yeah, that pattern looks horrible. Maybe what I can do is I can fake it a little bit by turning the area around the base of the containers pure black. Yeah. Basically cheating at the lighting. So we're going to walk in here and we'll be able to look down and see that. Let's try it out, guys. Let's see how this looks. I gotta learn VScript properly. I don't know where to start. It is difficult because there isn't much documentation of the like the script functions that are in MapBase. It's hard to document, so it's hard to learn. And if you use like Portal 2's documentation, Left 4 Dead 2's documentation, the functions that they have are slightly different from the ones that are in MapBase. So it can be tricky. But I think the thing that I would recommend the most is to go from examples. Like look at V scripts that have already been written, like the samples that come with MapBase from Blixabon, and look at the V scripts in Entropy 02. And if you have, the consent of the mappers, V scripts from MapLabs, because there's some crazy V scripts in MapLabs, like the guy who did an entire flight sim in MapLabs. What have I done? Okay, I think I hid the entire map. Oops, my bad. Okay, there we go. Let me try that again. Off topic, I've always enjoyed how the Half-Life 1 expansions show the Black Mesa incident from different perspectives. I 100% agree. Scientist, HECU, security guard. I like it when other mods do that. Not sure if I'm explaining this right. Yeah, I think it would be kind of fun to have a mod or like a series of mods, which is like one event from multiple perspectives. There's something just really fun about that continuity, about like seeing the events take place from different angles. I've read some complaints in the map-based Discord. People want a VCD page compiling all the VScript functions. I mean, that'd be nice. It's easier said than done, right? Most of them from the games that support it. Yeah, there's the problem, right? It's going to be different for every game that supports it. So, like, if you document Left 4 Dead VScript, some of that is not going to be supported by Portal 2. If you document map-based VScript, some of that is not supported by Left 4 Dead 2. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of need it to be specific to the game, because it's not standardized across them. Oops. What have I done? Do I have a leak? Let's try it. Wait. I don't understand. What's going wrong here? So where did the player go? Oh, you know what? I have that's funny. I had Viz groups hidden. Happens a lot. I like how how Uprising showed the perspective of the civil protection of the fall of City 17. Yeah, Uprising is really good for that. You're weirded out by Valve adding VScript to Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, but not base Half-Life 2. Yeah, I wonder how that happened. Maybe it has to do with the Team Fortress 2 SDK release. That would make the most sense to me. Yeah, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch uses the TF2 branch. That would make sense. Okay, so we're back in the map. Let's see how our vista turned out. I still need to fix this door. I'm decently happy with this. I mean, it's nothing super complicated, but it gets the point across, right? We're in this big underground labyrinth. There's test chambers. There's lots and lots of goo. Blue goo. Kind of explains where that running water sound is coming from. Maybe there should be like a waterfall sound. And I think most importantly, it like what was I gonna say? It makes the space feel more open, you know? Like I should probably retract some of these walls a little bit. I just don't want to stand here and be able to see back into the map and then have it like clip. Yeah, it's probably better the way it is, to be honest. It looks too big. Yeah, it is. It was supposed to be really big. Maybe I should squish it down a little bit just for realism. Might be a good idea, but I was trying to go for like large scale. I like how it just like fades into darkness at the top, like you can't see the top of it. Yeah, there's that. What do we want to do next? I should probably start detailing this area a little bit more. So I know, let me talk through a little bit where I'm at with Scar Zero. I know this green dev texture, lighting is top notch. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I know behind this wall, there's going to be a little safe room area. The safe room area, I want to do a couple things. I want to transition over to another map that's going to be the labs area. And I'll talk about that a little bit. And I want to have a monitor where maybe you can see Bad Cop and Wilson just to check in on the main storyline. The labs area is a different map I want to make. It's going to be more gameplay. It's going to be here. This wall brought to you by Breadman. Yeah, this area, basically. I want you to be able to walk around here. There's going to be some labs. There's going to be some experiments. I want to have, like, stealth with a bull squid. Like, there's a bull squid that's, like, chasing you. Kind of like, Disbelief. Believe it or not, I did have that idea before I played Disbelief. But Disbelief was an excellent mod. So I can use this kind of aesthetic for that area. And we'll go through more rooms like this one. Yeah, so that's what's going to be through here. Glow squid, exactly. I think there needs to be more on this floor. So, like, I was going to put an elevator in here, but maybe there should be, like, another room past that. I don't know. I think there should be some railings around this generator. I'm going to start there, and then we'll start texturing the walls and the floor and everything. I thought about mods featuring bad cop sightings. A randomized sequence that represents different playstyles would be interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, because it's like you'll never be able to like be, you know, quote unquote canon, right? Because any player can change anything at any time. So it makes sense to try to like show different variations on that. Bull squid as a plan B replacement. Won't you be able to just kick it to death? Yes, you could just kick it to death. I would probably have to account for that. I would maybe make it invincible, make it when it loses health, it like runs away. That sort of thing. Elevator door with an out of service sign. I was going to do that. I was going to put an elevator right here that says out of service because there needs to be an elevator to go with this stair. I could also maybe try to put the elevator either like out here and have it inaccessible or like put it, maybe extend this wall out. I'm not sure. Not sure yet. I think I'm going to use this interior fence 002. Oops, that's the fence. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the railing. Handrail single span 128. It's in prop silo. Stairs also out of order. I kind of wanted to, okay, let me pull that up again, actually. So that is in C3. Hi, Tank. Welcome. C3-3. No, C3-1. What am I thinking? I once saw a Half-Life 1 mod where you'd play through the perspective of a plane crash survivor who conveniently crashed near the Black Mesa facility. That's a great setup. The mod wasn't released, but the concept was so funny to me that I wish it was released. It reminds me of Amnesia Rebirth, how it starts with a plane crash. Or Bioshock also starts with a plane crash. And I think it's a great setup because it drops your character into a situation that they couldn't possibly be prepared for. Right? Like, they're literally not where they're from. They don't know the environment. So they're newcomers to the whole situation. I think that sounds like a great mod. I would play that. Giant Mother glow squid as a replacement, and the one eating the corpses is her child. Yeah, I was experimenting with bull squids as like horror monsters off stream, and I jump scared myself really badly because I set the bull squid with the flag to make it a boss enemy, thinking that that would just make it invincible the way it does with the Gonome. But I forgot that way back in 2019, I put code in that makes if you make a bull squid marked as a boss enemy, it scales it up by 3 times or something like that. So I thought it was just a regular bull squid, and then I turned the corner and I got charged by a giant bull squid that was the size of an antlion guard, and that really freaked me out. I was gonna say, I kind of want to have Scar Zero come through this area and have this door open, and you'll see that the reason why the stairs are out of order is because they're covered in Zen growths. The problem with something like that, and I've had this issue before, is that it's kind of like attacking a joke. It's like ruining a joke. Like, stairs also out of order is a joke. So if I tried to add an explanation, oh, well, the stairs are out of order because they're infested, it kind of ruins, it makes it not funny anymore, and I don't want to do that. Hi, Cheese Dreamer. How's your Mac progress doing? It's slow. I want to get further along than I am, and I've been making very slow progress because I'm distracted with other projects as well. But at least with this map, I'm very happy with how it's looking so far. I noticed Bull Squid doesn't have tail whip. What do you mean? I don't follow actually. The Bull Squid does have the tail whip. Putting some safety rails up. You know, you gotta be safe. You kindly push the cart into the anti-mass spectrometer. Oh, would you kindly is Bioshock. Sorry, it took me a minute. You know, I never played Bioshock 2, and I never played the DLCs for Bioshock Infinite. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I like Bioshock. I do feel like the infinite respawn mechanics in Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite kind of ruined it for me a little bit. Like, it shouldn't have, because it makes it more focused on the narrative than on, like, dying and respawning and dying and respawning. But it just felt like there was never any consequences to anything. From a gameplay perspective, I just really didn't like that very much. I could have probably used something like this. Oops. Oh, there's lots of variations on this. This is kind of cool. Where's a good, like, corner one that I can use? I finished the Bioshock series recently. Great games. Yeah. That might even be good for a stream. I know I'm not really hurting for things to stream right now, but it's a classic series. It's definitely in the genre that I like to play. This might be exactly the right size for this. That's kind of cool. What are the odds of that? It's like perfect fit. I think it might be slightly too far along on this side. You were playing Skyrim with mods? You know, I never really got into Skyrim or Fallout modding, but I don't know why I haven't. I know that's like a huge modding community. And that'd be fun games to mod, too. Someone went back in time and told Valve to resize the model. Yeah, that works. Bioshock 2 stream would be pretty fun. I'll have to keep that in mind. This might be problematic here. Maybe there's like a broken version of this. Wait. Be kind of cool. No, there's a broken version of this one. There's not a broken version of the other one. I get to use the physics sim tool. Hooray. Just this here, and then like maybe rotate it and physics sim. There we go. I'll turn off collision too so it doesn't mess up the NPCs. That looks good. That looks really good. Hammer plus 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 will feature dynamic rail prop creation. That could actually be useful. Like if you have like props that are part of like a tile set, like these fence props, right? Like link them together so that you have a tool where you can like put one down and then you can put another one down and you can make it like an end cap or like a different side. How would that? I think there's an idea there. That could work. That could be really cool. Like unironically. Let's see. I want to texture this room, but I think we might be starting to run out of time for the stream. I want to make sure to give myself enough time after this. Let's see, who's streaming now? I might raid into a Black Mesa stream after this. Yeah, not somebody I know, but let's give it like a first pass at texturing this. Oh, what's the microwave for? Yeah, that's because my friend Coded asked for a microwave. Actually, I'm going to remove that now. But he really wanted a microwave. He also wanted some Hot Pockets. The best I could do is like an alien gib and a piece of an antlion. Hi, Coded. I didn't know you were still here. Let's see. I want to add more infestation to this room. Let's try to stick to the portal textures as much as possible. Probably we want this one for the floor. Does that look good? I feel like this is a texture that tiles really easily. Like, even if it's not lined up with the corners, it still looks good because it just... It's because it doesn't tile evenly, so if it does run up against a corner, it doesn't look like it's not tiled. What a hack. Microwave is really important, though. It's how they power the generator. Yeah, if they turn the microwave off, the generator stops working. Seems like that worked pretty well. And we have the same texture up there. I probably want to add some geometry to add like a pattern to this. Zen tree sapling. Yeah. That would work well for this like gunk. What texture do I want to start with? I mean, we could do something kind of... Oh, that doesn't look good. I want to use this texture because I never see it used, and it looks so different, you know? If I was to, like, line this up, would that be... We could do, like, a stripe across the bottom with that texture. That might not be bad, actually. Maybe. Oh, but that's gonna look terrible there. Okay, let's try some other textures and see what combinations we can come up with. So like we might do this texture is really dark. If I want to like, keep the room dark, me on my way to microwave a Zen grenade. We need more cool Zen grenade interactions. This texture is a little bit lighter. I think that will bounce the light more, which will probably be good for keeping the space illuminated. I don't think I want it to be too dark. In fact, I think rather than overthinking it, I'm going to stick with this texture. Do I have any orange anywhere that isn't this room? I think I could just do a find replace. Yeah, I'm really feeling a find replace right now. $600 textures replaced. Oh boy. Not bad. Not bad. And I think that bottom layer I'm going to try to replace with that texture that I mentioned. Doesn't get used often enough. I just need to select everything. I just realized there's a huge jumping spider in here. I don't like that. Some people I know get really scared of the poison head crabs because of arachnophobia. And I never really got that. I have pretty severe arachnophobia, but head crabs just... I don't know, maybe it's because it's fantastical. It's like, it doesn't scare me because it's not real. Antlion IRL coming after you, yeah. It's, okay, jumping spiders are highly intelligent, and sometimes they do this thing that really scares me, which is where they look at you. That messes me up. I can't deal with spiders looking at you, honestly. Like, that's just, it's too much. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't move that brush, did I? Okay. I don't like when spiders look at you. I feel like, you know, most species of spiders don't really recognize humans as animals. It's like they probably see you as just like part of the environment. I hate everything as spiders. I didn't know you didn't like spiders, Coded. They're harmless. That's what everybody says. Like, do I care if it's harmless? It's looking at me. I don't like that. It's doing psychological harm. That said, I will say I avoid hurting spiders whenever possible. Like, I try to, like, catch them and take them outside. It's probably what I'll do when I can't ignore them, that is. Harmless until they eat your spine. They're plotting something. Exactly. I stared at a spider husk for 40 minutes till someone came to confirm it wasn't just on a standoff. I forget that they do that. They molt. I feel like I need some kind of a trim there to mark the contrast between the two textures. It's just standing there. Menacingly. This is going to be my excuse to end stream. I'll be like, well, I have to stop stream. There's a spider staring at me. I don't like how the pattern of rivets doesn't line up properly. What have I done? Graphic design is my passion. You know what I should do instead is actually just select... Because I probably want the whole brush to be... Yeah, okay. So just select the whole thing and apply texture at once. Because I also don't know if I need to actually apply translation. I've been applying translation, but should be able to just use the existing... It definitely moved. The fact that it's a jumping spider also scares me because, it can jump. You know? You get what I'm saying? This is looking better. Even without any detailed geometry, which I need to add. But I also think I can probably get away with less detail than I was originally anticipating because I'm probably going to add more like Zen growths on the walls and stuff like that, as well as posters that will fill out the space a little bit more. Let's see what this looks like with the textures. Oh, it moved. Sorry. Spiders. How am I going to be able to get on VR knowing that there could be a spider and I don't know where it is? Think about it. I do want to add custom voice acting to Scar Zero at some point. I mean, the worst case, just like custom responses. Oh, the lighting in here is awful. I forgot I still had the temporary lighting. Oh no, Trivia would be ashamed. Oh no, I need to make actual lighting in here. I think that's my next step before I even do detailed geometry. You think it looks nice? What about this gross shadow? What's even casting that shadow? Because I just put a whole bunch of like fill lights in the room without like really thinking about it. Is this a third map? Yeah, this map is SZ Nest 02, so this would be the third, the second map chronologically. It didn't hear me. He's running away. The reason he runs so goofy is because I have a V script that changes his speed. And it's based on a map I was working on called Company Values. Force the player to use NVG at all times. I'm considering like permanently disabling the NVG for this map. What do you guys think about that idea? Would that be bad? Oh, it just moved. The spider moved, and it's staring directly at me. This is like a standoff at this point. I don't like it. You meant IRL? Yeah, no, there's a spider in my room right now. I remember seeing a video about company values. I'm sad that I never got to complete that project. I got as far as having a playtest for it, so it was a lot farther along than Scar Zero ever got. He's running. Kill it. No, Coded, I'm not going to kill it. I'm going to catch it and throw it outside. It's huge, though. I mean, I guess, like, huge spiders here aren't that big because, you know, where I live it's colder, so... Well, not colder right now, but colder in the winter, so I don't usually have big spiders. But this is too big of a spider for me, honestly. I can't handle that. I'm more afraid of this spider than the gonome right now. Ow. Hammer. It coded it's a jumping spider. How is a hammer gonna help? Yeah, so I really want to relight this room. That will be the next step, but I think I should start to look for a channel to raid for two reasons. Because I need to end stream, because I have plans, but also because there's a spider staring at me and it's freaking me out. And I need to catch it. As soon as I move towards it, it's going to jump and I'll never know where it goes. That's the scariest part. Keyboard. No, I'm not using my keyboard coded. Also, I just said I like to catch the spiders and release them. I'm not going to hit it with a blunt object. Even if I was going to kill it, I wouldn't want to, like, smash it, because then there's just, like, dead spider parts everywhere. That's disgusting. Anyways, looking at channels I'm following, I see there's a VTuber who previously played Entropy Zero who's playing Black Mesa, so I think I'm gonna raid them. So please be on your best behavior. Let me quick check the stream to see what it looks like before I raid. I don't think any of my friends are streaming right now. But yeah, this looks like a good channel to raid. Yeah, please give wait, I see Meneth gave me a greetings an hour ago, and I don't think I said hi to Meneth. I'm sad. Don't call him slurs coded. That's not acceptable. The spider is gone. Update on the spider. The spider is gone. Oh no. Okay. Well, please give Parisi your warmest regards. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm excited to get back to this next time for some lighting. Hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I'll see you around. Bye for now. Raid Parisi. Regards. Thanks for some lighting.